We're going to be diving into PDFs today. So after you've created a form or potentially grabbed one from our marketplace, you would tab over to the PDF field. This is what gives you the ability to connect a document to your forms. So find the form that works best for you, and you can go ahead and drag this right here on the screen, or you can click Select Files and you can pull it from your computer. This is going to upload this into the system so that you can move forward, and then you would just click Save to go to the next step. Now what this is going to do is give you the ability to continue, down here in this corner. And you'll get a view of the different pages that are available on the form. You'll click Continue again, and this is going to create the form and bring it into our editor. You'll notice that it's recognized the fields that previously existed in Adobe, and it's put them on the form in red. And the color coding is just a way of letting you know that you haven't done anything with that field yet. You can choose to previously remove these fields on your Adobe file before uploading the file, so it would be a flattened file, or you could choose to keep the fields, which oftentimes saves a little bit of time instead of having to constantly create all of these from scratch. So one of the benefits of keeping the field, we're going to start with our doing business as, is I'm just going to click on it and you'll see a couple of things. This allows us now to connect this existing field to a form field that exists on your app. And we do have DBA on our form in this example. So now it's added it here. It's changed the color to blue, letting you know that that one is connected and ready to go. You know, alternatively, what you could have done is, let's imagine that these fields were deleted. You can click Create here. You can drag a new field onto the form, resize it as you see fit to where you want it to go, and then you can connect this one to DBA name as well, and ultimately get to the same result. So keep in mind, it is a benefit sometimes to having the fields that are already existing, but it's not required. And you don't also have to connect all of these. There's nothing wrong with ending with a PDF that has a bunch of red fields, or clicking on them and choosing you don't want that field and clicking the delete button down here in the bottom to get rid of it. Similar to our form builder, you'll notice the color coding here where we're going to show you the fields that exist on your form, and the green is going to indicate that they're on the PDF. So this makes it easy for you to kind of quickly scan and say, okay, these are, in this example, the 10 or so questions that I'm asking on my form. My goal is going to be to map these where they need to go on the document. So I'm going to go through step by step to get them green. So we do recommend that you'll go through and you'll map your form, or you'll create your form first before you come into here and update it on the form. And for example, let's say this is what was going to be the first name field. Now I've got another field that's turned green, another one of these fields that's turned purple, and I'm off to the races with where I need to go. As you're building out PDFs, it's not just text fields. You can edit checkboxes, you can edit multi-select lists, radios, a variety of different things, and those are all components that can connect back and forth from the form within Under to the place that it needs to go on the PDF. And we pride ourselves in being able to design this in a way that you don't have to ask as many questions on the form as there may be on this PDF. You know, this is a heavy merchant processing app. There may be as many as 300 or 400 inputs. A lot of our clients may only ask 30 to 50 questions on the form using conditional logic and calculations and repeater fields, etc., to take this and populate it many times. For example, you may find that doing business as or legal name potentially is on more than one location. A lot of these forms may have legal name at the top page of every single one. So what's nice about the way that our system is designed is you can add multiple versions. So let's imagine that you need to add DBA again. You know, instead of asking the customer for the same thing twice, what you can do is you can actually bring this back onto the form again. And notice in this application, it does ask for it. It looks like on the top of every page. And then when you go back, you're going to notice now that there's a 2 here, meaning that we're using the same field more than one time. And the benefit of that is that we've only asked the customer for it once, but you can use it as many times as you want on the PDF. And that's probably one of the most powerful ways to reduce the scope of what this is. And we call these our repeater fields, but something that's been consistent within this as well. There also are going to be instances where you're not going to want to map fields. So for example, this is the pricing section of this application. Generally, our customers will not be asking their customers what they want to pay for their services. So it's commonplace that this field will actually still exist on the PDF, but not be a question on the form. So that's where we use our form fill checkbox, where you can select that. You're making this now a live field, which is editable, but it won't be something that the customer sees when they're filling out the form. It's something that your back office would be editing. At the end of this process, anything that you leave in red essentially disappears and is no longer a part of the form. So you're either going to want to mark a field as connected to a form field, or do what I had just done here, where we checked that box to make it a form fill field. And I'll explain a little bit more of that in just a second here. As you can see, you can edit a variety of the different stylings within that as well. The most important thing we find is the text size. Many of these documents you generally want to set around a 6 to 8 text size, and that way if the characters run really long for some of these, you're not running over the space and carrying over into the other space. So you'd likely want to match a similar typography as what you see on the document that's right here. And you would go through that process to design and map your app. The last component we're going to talk today is really our signatures. So what you may want to do is add a signature or initial component to your form. And this would allow our electronic signature to work within the PDF function. So we'll go ahead and find the first location that I see here. So there's an initials here, so we can drag and drop initials on the form. And you can define who is actually going to be signing it. Is going to be the primary signer, or potentially we offer this option of an agent initial. And an agent initial is like recognizing that it's one of the other users of the product that's going to be dropping that and signing it, not the merchant themselves. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a actual signatures box here on the form to show you what this looks like. In this case, primary signer, since there's only one signer that I've defined. If I had added multiple signers, I could add additional signers who would sign potentially the second signature box here. And now you have a signature as a part of your form that's ready to go.